Now let's look at the frictional force. We know the fact that Galileo discovered the law of inertia through the thought experiment of rolling a ball on a slope. Although it was impossible, in reality, he thought that the ball would roll constantly and would not stop. If there is no frictional force on the floor surface, a moving object wants to keep moving, but stops because of friction eventually. The frictional force acts when the car starts to leave. When a car moves, it receives resistance due to friction and wastes about 10% of the total fuel eventually. However, if there is no friction, the wheels would idle, and the car cannot even move forward due to no pushing forward force. Sports such as skating, skiing, paragliding, and so on, taking a risk of our lives because they cannot be stopped or reduced in speed. Raindrop keeps the constant speed due to the friction of air. If there is no friction, it will drop in a tremendous speed. How does frictional force, which is penetrated deeply in real life, occur? It is the fact that frictional force is greater if the contacting surface of two objects is rough. What is adhesion theory? The theory is that when two objects are in contact, adhesion occurs instantaneously, like a fly or mosquito being attached to the window vertically. What is electrostatics theory? Electrostatic theory, which explains that friction occurs due to electrostatic gravitation between the surfaces. When two object surfaces slip and generate opposite of charges. A static frictional force is an object does not want to move due to frictional force when a force is added from outside to move the stationary object. It is because the force to move the object and the frictional force are in equilibrium. Force of not wanting to move here is the static frictional force. The sides of the static frictional force F and the force added to the object F are the same in opposite direction. Expressed as F means negative F. Graph shows the changes of frictional force in the process of moving a stationary object by adding a force. The frictional force occurring from the beginning moment of moving an object to the process of moving is called kinetic friction. Once the object moves, the size of frictional force decreases. Let's sum a formula to obtain the size of the frictional force. Expressed as F is proportional to the coefficient of friction mu and the normal force N. This condition is established only on the perfectly hard surface ideally.